Have you been searching for that next level upgrade? Ready to invest into something that is in it for the long haul? Well, look no further than the composited innovations provided by Prime. These customly crafted pieces are handmade by former Jason Johnson Racing car chief and Prime owner-operator Clyde Knipp. Prime Composite Innovations is located centrally in Missouri and is looking to provide that big-time performance at a fraction of that big-time price. For additional information, visit prime-composites.com today to see what they have to offer, as well as their stable of current full-time drivers that trust Prime with their ride. For the future of innovations, with the properly composited type, you can depend, move forward, and rely on Prime. NARC, the NARC series, the sprint car series in California, is the third best sprint car series in the country. And when you look at it, you got Outlaws, High Limit. I would still say that's 1-2. Third, though, I mean, if we're talking about series only, wouldn't that be NARC? Now, some people would say PA, but y'all don't have a series. Has there ever been a discussion or people wanting some type of series-based action over there? I mean, you got 3 tracks. Obviously, there's been discussions about fans being an issue sometimes. Wouldn't it kind of benefit everybody in that PA area if there was some kind of series?
Yeah, so back in my dad's era, back in the 80s, they actually did have a point series. It was actually, I think, Pat's Blue Ribbon sponsored somehow, and it was like accumulated points, separate from the track points. Which I guess you could kind of say the Hosehead series is like that now. I mean, they do have the Hosehead point series, which is all the Central PA tracks. I don't know. California is like catching some momentum, which is good to see because there for a while, I feel like they were on the downswing with the sprint car racing in general.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think High Limit definitely helped them, gain a lot of racing out there for premier events. I guess the only real split date in PA that you may lose this driver to that track or that driver to this one, that is Saturday, right? Because Williams Grove is kind of like the meeting grounds. There's no other Friday night track, correct?
Correct.
And Williams Grove's Friday, but then on Saturday you have this split of Lincoln and Port.
Yep.
And it probably splits fans sometimes. There may be some behind-the-scenes bidding wars for the big name to come to your track instead of the other one. I don't know. I don't know if y'all are comping passes or whatever, but is there
not comping passes for me? That's for sure.
Well, I know. Well, we can't all be as pretty as Devin Borden or as tall as Danny. What I'm saying is, I
need to hit the gym, I guess.
Oh, come on. Well, don't put it on videos don't try to could a chicken. That's all I'm going to say and take a picture. But what I'm saying is, could there be something there Saturday where we all get along scenario? Because it does seem like sometimes Port Royal will throw in like a late model show or a fendered event or a non-wing event.
Yeah.
And that's when y'all really get a really good field at Lincoln and a good crowd, and almost vice versa. I just feel like Lincoln and Port should be trying to find a way to coincide on Saturday night events.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that because me and Dane we were having this discussion the other week. The Weicker Memorial is 3 days this year, which is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And, Friday nights have always been the Grove, with some small exceptions. Like I said earlier, Path Valley had a small stint back in the mid-'90s where they ran some Friday night stuff against the Grove. It didn't last, but
that's probably back when y'all had 90 cars in the area, 100?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that was back before we had all these divisions. We didn't have 305s. We didn't really have 360s here. We just had 410s, and 358s were just getting started, but we had the Super Sportsman. So, yeah, we had more sprint cars racing at that time.
So you could split them up.
Yeah. So I don't know. My point was that, sometimes these tracks should work together, even the Grove on Friday nights. Sometimes there's rumors about how they don't necessarily make any money on a regular Friday night, or you name it, and be a good opportunity for some of these other tracks to have a big weekend or a special show, kind of like what Port Royal is doing for Weichert. And the same goes for Saturday nights. There are times recently where, Lincoln's racing against Port Royal, or Simmons Grove's racing the same night, or vice versa. And I agree. I mean, it would benefit everybody in the long run, I feel as though. But at the same time, I also get that the tracks only have, let's face it, if you only had 30 days a year in the whole calendar year to be open for business, you'd hate to give up one of them days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If a track has 30 races a year. So, I don't know. Pennsylvania is tricky because we got so much racing here all the time. I mean, I'm a part-time weekend warrior, and I think we raced 40 races this year. And that's not much compared to what some of these guys were able to run. So,
right. Well,
I like your thinking.
Yeah. It may be hard to work with Lincoln and Port as well, just because of the politics of the situation. I say politics and ego are the most destructive thing in the sport. And the politics of that side, visually it looks like, Lincoln is a outlaw track, and then, Port is a high limit track. Do those politics trickle into these decisions and choices maybe as well?
I would say. I'm sure it does.
PA is the Hollywood of the sprint car industry. I say this all the time. It's the Hollywood. It is.
This is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wide, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong, or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with no shade. So letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her in sideways, living the life, letting her ride, outside, winning to die, cross her up on the cushion.